to the drama. In the latest episode, As the NBA Turns, Nets edition, we have a new coach in Brooklyn, and his name is not Ime Udoka. I'm surprised. Sheesh. I'm conflicted, I think. So on one hand, I think it's like time is a flat circle because Jacque Vaughn probably should have gotten the job when Steve Nash did. We saw him in the bubble do a great job. They beat the Bucks as like 29.5-point dogs, like one of the largest upsets in NBA history from a betting perspective. And so to him, I'm happy for him. For Ime Udoka, what he did, I think he would have been a really good coach. I think he would have been a really good fit. And he brings defensive-mindedness to a team that, they needed. And when Steve Nash was fired, and immediately Shams reported that he was not just the candidate, he was the only candidate as the replacement, it's kind of seemed like a done deal, and it kind of felt like justice, I like Ime. I want him to succeed. I want him to have another shot. And to me, I was like, all right, he serves his little stinky suspension, and then he goes back to our regular scheduled programming, which is him in the front of a bench, doing what he does, win. And then it wasn't. After a week of silence, they said he was supposed to be on the road trip to D.C. He was going to be on a private plane. And then the Kyrie thing happened, and we had radio silence. You had Adam Silver. You had all these news reports being like, people are mad that the Nets are considering Ime Udoka. Women are mad. Everyone's mad. And it's like, yeah, and Kyrie's being dropped by Nike. There's a million things he has to do to get back onto the court. They're not winning games. And then you're like, all right, well, we're not a contender, so why even deal with this bullshit? Right? And now you got the new coach brought in, and they're like, yeah, we should just make Jacque Vaughn the full-time head coach. He has guided the Nets through many tumultuous times, and I think he will get his chance, and it's a good thing. My guy, Jake Fisher, friend of show, wrote a detailed article on the hiring, and this is what it said. Jacque Vaughn was someone that a lot of people in the organization and a lot of people on the coaching side believe should have gotten a chance at this job after the bubble in 2020 before they hired Steve Nash to begin with. Yes. So on one hand, it wasn't a shock. On the other, poor Ime Udoka. Honestly, he'll get another shot. Maybe he'll coach in Chicago or something. They're going to fire Billy Donovan. Or maybe he'll get a coach. At one point, he was on the Philadelphia 76ers bench, and guess whose butt is hot right now? Doc Rivers. So maybe he'll coach the Philadelphia 76ers. Fisher notes that Udoka's hire was a foregone conclusion and that Vaughn was fine with that. In fact, when they started on their recent road trip, he had no clue that he would even be a possibility to get the job. But then they started winning, and their defense started picking up 4 games in a row that the Nets held opponents under 100 points. Even the Knicks, who are scoring 115, 118. Loud voices, some rumors claim Adam Silver was one of them, warning against hiring Ime, the cancerous, poisonous, potential coach to women. It's a fucking strange beat, but that's where we're at. Vaughn had a great answer when he was asked if he felt like he was a second choice. He said, well, I guess I was the write-in candidate in the minds of the elections right now, but I'm okay with that. I said to my wife, I might not have been her first choice either, and we've been together 20 years. Yeah, I love him. Also, his beard is so gray from 2020 to now. He looked like he was my age, and now he looks like he's my mom's age. So God bless him. He deserves some sort of level of job security, some boost in pay. Hope they're giving him more money. Even Jake Fisher, who's well-connected as anyone, says exactly why Vaughn got the job and not Udoka is still, quote-unquote, murky. Man, we're going to be hearing about this one for a while, for a long time, I am sure. A couple of things I think are worth highlighting on this. I think Vaughn should have gotten the job after taking the team to the bubble. He's beloved across the NBA. That's what Fisher said, and I think that's true. He's widely hailed as a brilliant communicator. He's about as genuine as they come, in which plenty of dogs have eaten other dogs, right? He continues to stay alive. Staying alive in this business, very important. Great dude. I think he's going to get a fair shake. I don't think this is a rented seat. I think If he continues to have this team locked in and playing well, and listen, KD's endorsement is very meaningful. He said more about Vaughn last night after the win against the Knicks, blowout win against the Knicks, more than he's ever said about Steve Nash, who he considered his Yoda, right? So he's never said, yeah, he's got us all clicking. He's got us bought into his schemes. Have you ever heard KD say that about Steve Nash? Not a fucking word. Second, I feel for Ime Udoka. This is not good. I think he got hammered by his team, and this time he was just sitting at home. He's the coach in waiting, and now he's not. He doesn't even know what's happening. He's literally just sitting there, and then the tides are changing before his very eyes. The sand is just slipping through the cracks of his fingers. The whispers of the due diligence was not fast enough on the net side. I don't even know what that means. We're going to just move on. Hopefully things will quiet down in Brooklyn. Maybe not. Maybe Kyrie will just be released. Kyrie has been released by Nike. Now Phil Knight's saying things about that. Maybe we'll talk about that more in detail. But can they win a chip with KD in this supporting cast? I don't think so. But I'm very curious to see how Vaughn manages this team. And remember, they got $35 million in cap space after this offseason starts.